up?
Good morning, and welcome back to the Abandoned Framing Project.
It's been abandoned.
I have a funny story to tell you guys. Early on in the whole social media scene, I got approached by a big company that goes by the name of Milwaukee. Cool opportunity for me, and I got to test out some tools prior to them being released to the public. What I failed to do though was take it seriously. So when they sent me out a tape measure saying that it was super tough, I ran it over with a reach lift and blew it to smithereens. They haven't spoke to me since 2019. That is completely irrelevant to today's video though. This DeWalt framing nailer, I didn't like it in the beginning. I had some jamming problems, but after a while of using this thing, this gun is solid. It's what I'm gonna take up top right now, and that's what we're gonna frame out the rest of this thing with. We're not gonna tell anybody, but I accidentally laid this out 16 on center rather than 24 on center. Floors get laid out at 16 on center most times, and roofs get laid out at 24 on center. I didn't do that. I laid it out 16 on center, but I didn't fill it. Layout would have still worked, but it just would have been a little wonky. So we're gonna hook that third truss in, and the reason for that is we don't wanna hook this truss, and I typically don't like to hook that one either. I like to hook one out in the middle of the field. That way I can pull my layout 2 foot on center, not 16, and lay out that way. So that's what we're gonna do. We've got that truss hooked right there. We're gonna pull 48. We're gonna hook and pull 6 foot. And last one is 8 foot. So then this piece that we've got right here, this 2x4 going up, is called a sleeper. And this is going to be what the actual fill attaches to. Some people do their fill without having a sleeper down. We actually have to double sleeper them. Most of our roofs are very mellow. So we'll have another sleeper in here. Most of the time they're 2x6, but on this little spot here, top quarter of the trusses are 2x4, and that's what they're calling we fill this with. So where these two plane in here at 1.5 inches, that's where that's gonna go. The sheathing will actually run over and land in here and then go up to fill that whole area. Let's go over how we're actually cutting the little fillers. Before I do that though, I want to nail the sleeper. So the sleepers just get nailed to where the back of the fill and the front of the fill have full bearing and full support. Let's talk about how we got these numbers, what it is, and how to cut them yourself. A lot of people get confused. We have got 18 degrees on the saw, on the bevel itself. That is the pitch of the roof. And then the way that we're figuring out this back cut, this long cut, what you're seeing here, is actually done by taking that number in degrees, the roof pitch, 18, subtracting it from 90. That's called a level cut right there. And what that's going to do is allow this to sit perfectly flat along the bottom here. So we're gonna take 18, subtract it from 90, that gives us 72 degrees. So this is a 72 degree cut on an 18 degree bevel. That's how you're gonna cut all these bottom fills. This cut right up here is just a 4 12 head cut, so 18 degrees here as well. But you can see just how good this fits down here. And you can see that if we didn't have double sleepers, that we wouldn't have much support. So double sleepers are a must. So we've got that 18 degree on the saw. We have that 72 degree cut all the way down. Fox is gonna take a number. And what he just did was took his square, found where his number was right there, and then pivoted off the end until he got to that 4 12 there. And that's how you make that head cut up top. We'll see how good he did.
Gotta let her wind up. Oh. So I'm hooking 2 foot over, making a mark, 2 foot and go, and then I'll mark 2 foot and go. And that'll give me my long point to long point number, which will be 28 3/8.
So I explained that if you have the pitch of the roof in degrees and you subtract that from 90, that you're able to get what is essentially that back cut. Fox has a different way of doing it.
I was always shown to, you put your, say the roof's 4 and 12, you put your 4 and 12 on there, and then you just flip your square, and that'll give you your back cut, and then that's your 72.
Couple different ways to skin a cat, my friends.
Thing's pretty cool.
That one is taken care of. That fill is ready to sheet all the way through. We do have a couple pieces of hardware, so we'll take care of that. The next fill that I've got is right up over here. I need to sheet this all the way through, and then from there I can fill in this way. That'll take care of that. Also have this little fill to do over here, and the one on the other side there is already taken care of. Everyone's always asking about bidding projects. How do you do it? How do you do it accurately? It consists of a lot of this. Sitting on site looking at plans. Check this place out. It's pretty beautiful. Nice house. I take into account the square footage, single level, multi-level, wall heights, any crazy shear details. Strong walls take a bit longer to do. They're also a lot more expensive. So when I'm looking at these projects and I'm seeing that we have 10-foot plate heights and we have every header set at 8 foot, there's no crazy large openings, I know that we're able to build the thing fairly easily. Nothing is out of the norm for us. Therefore, I'm able to bid fairly competitively. It's really loud out. On the topic of bidding projects, there's also kind of this gray area when it comes to bidding a new construction home, and that is the garage. A lot of people talk about how the garage isn't included in the square footage price. The reason that people do this is because the garage is technically not living space. Hear me out though, in our scope, rough framing, it still gets framed. I feel the need to charge for it. Depending on who you're working with, sometimes people will charge you full price, whatever that may be, $19 to $22 a square foot for the actual living space itself. First floor, second floor, third floor, whatever it may be. And then for garages, patio covers, things like that, best way and easiest way to do it, since it is a little bit easier, is charge half on that. I think it's break time. It got really quiet all of a sudden.
Let's take a break, Matthew.
Let's take a break. I'm gonna take a break.
Breakfast of Champions.
So unhealthy.
but it's got, have you read the ingredients? It's a beautiful
60
thing.
grams of sugar.
That's it? Only 4 cups? How do they fit 4 cups of sugar in this little can?
They melt it.
They melted.
In construction, we have a lot of details where we are connecting the bottom down here up to the top up here, and one of those details, and something that we've shown quite a bit, are these plate connectors here that you can see on the wall there. They connect from the upper level down to the rim joist. And then from the rim joist here connecting down to the lower, we actually have A35s on the inside all over the place. And depending on the engineer, you will have them spec'd out. Let's just give you an example. We'll have them spec'd out 48 on center. But then when you have a shear wall, they're gonna get tighter. They'll be called out 18 on center, 12 on center. We're in there to run it.
So just take it around, Larry.
Clockwise, always.
Blow it up or something. I just get a little scared.
I got called out recently here on the old YouTube for saying the word Diablo wrong. We have a power plant nearby, and well, everybody here always called it Diablo. So I've been calling Diablo, and the D is a die, and you know what I mean. Anyways, cutting out windows that way has always been a method that I prefer. It is the cleanest method. You cannot mess it up. The router will not go outside of the box. Everything comes out clean. Larry's cutting those out right now. We're gonna hop up top with them, check those out. This quick little segment here is brought to you by Diablo Tools. Looking good.
I get that a lot.
Do you?
Yeah.
That's good. You are a good looking fella.
A little different, but I'll take it, right? That's kind of weird. It's got French fries in it. Right?
Not just thanks for lunch, but thanks for your lunch.
Literally, thanks for lunch.
Oh, Jesse. He broke his ankle, cut his finger off, and then what was the other one? He had a face injury or something.
Couldn't you drop him off in Santa Barbara?
No, whatever you do, don't let this guy cut anything. 20 minutes later, I hear him struggling with something. I turn around, he's got a 2x4. He's pressing against his chest with one hand. He's trying to get the skill saw over the top of it.
What?
I'm like, no!
What?
What are you doing?
He was dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
We gotta plane our sleepers through. We're gonna cut a 45 on our board here. All right, look, that's where it planes through. Plane it through. Take our string. We're looking at 121 long.
Anytime you're dropping something from off the roof, you yell, "Heading down below, entryway!" Perfect.
Sometimes you got a little extra modification.
All right, we're out of here. We'll be back tomorrow. We have windows to set, have some other stuff to go over. The windows here, the package was ordered a very, very, very long time ago. So the bottom of them, if you've ever had windows sitting out for a while, they will either bow at the sides, they will hump at the bottom. These ones humped at the bottom. So we have all these beautiful mill guard windows, and the bottoms all have a pretty gnarly crown to them from sitting out in the garden out back. I set 2 of them just to get an example. They look good.
So it shows, I believe it shows like
With that though, we're out of here. We have a couple things left to do. We have some sheathing up top to finish up. We didn't quite finish up top today. I was hoping to. And then we've got this right here. See this beam across here, the 6x6? Yeah, it's a 6x6. That beam right there, we're gonna do some rafters going down, have like a little shed roof, because all this water is gonna run down onto there. We want it to run off the front of the building, down into here. That is the plan. We will see you next time. We'll be back here setting some windows. We'll talk about a bit more on that, some manufacturer's details, things you have to follow in order to keep a warranty, and much more. If you guys are new to the channel and want to subscribe, the subscribe button is down below. Next to the subscribe button, we have a join button. That join button down there gets you access to a monthly class where we hop on and talk shop, talk building, talk cost, talk everything possible. The last session was about an hour and a half long. We talked about anything and everything. If you want to join that, it's $1.99 a month. That's all it is. You hop on, get to talk with everybody else and more. Join button down below if you want to do that. Any comments, questions, concerns? No concerns, just comments and questions. Drop them down there as well. I'll see you guys next time. Bang on.